drilled. Deep left field. Gone!
White Sox baseball is on your screen. Game number 3 of a 3-game series at Kauffman Stadium, and the Sox are in position to whisk away Kansas City on a 3-game sweep for the first time in 5 years at the K as Jacob Junis makes his 2020 debut. Dylan Cease in his second start of the season and second against the Royals at Kauffman Stadium. We thank you once again for joining us. Jason Benetti, Steve Stone along with you. And last night we saw glimpses. Luis Robert, Eloy Jimenez, Yoan Moncada, big glimpses of what's in store in the future.
You've been waiting for the guys. These are the guys. They're all here and they're all producing. And as you can see in the major leagues, they lead in batting average, 4th in slugging percentage, 6th in home runs, 11th in runs per game. That's going to get better, especially with Junis on the mound. Last year he gave up 31 home runs. This is not a good team if you can't keep the ball in the ballpark, and these guys are getting better. Right now they're awfully good. Luis Robert last night, Yoan Moncada, Eloy Jimenez. Together, they weren't exactly a 3-man gang, but pretty close to it, along with Leury Garcia. So things going very well. Sox on a 3-game winning streak. Hopefully they continue that today. And then it's Milwaukee home and home. But first things first, Kansas City and Kansas City, a place where the Sox have had some problems, but not this year.
Chance to get over 500. It's been the power in the series. Engels 3-run homer on Friday. Eloy going deep off Starling's glove yesterday, and Luis Robert putting on an absolute show. Swim along with us. Sox and Royals next.
White Sox baseball on NBC Sports Chicago is brought to you in part by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois, the card to carry through it all. First Midwest Bank, helping you build momentum. You have plans. First Midwest Bank has ideas. Xfinity. Xfinity X5 delivers blazing fast Wi-Fi with no curveballs. And by Wintrust, home of White Sox checking. Visit wintrust.com/Sox to open today.
Game 3 in Kansas City, and we are ready to go. Luis Robert taking swings against Jacob Junis, the 27-year-old right-hander. And guess what? He went after the first pitch. It's fouled away at strike 1, and off we go for White Sox baseball on a Sunday, and we're glad to have you along.
First ball, fastball, and Luis hasn't seen one of those he doesn't like.
Breaking ball from Junis, 0-2. Jacob Junis was on the injured list thanks to a positive COVID-19 test. He's gone through the protocols and now active for the first time today.
Remember that previous slider away from Luis Robert, because that's what he's going to have to adjust to today. He's been adjusting pitch to pitch with just about everybody, and we'll see if he adjusts to Junis.
Struck him out, dotted him with a breaking ball on the outside corner, and one away in the Sox first.
That was a better, tighter slider than the one before. Very effective.
So Jacob Junis, 27 years old, out of Rock Falls, Illinois. He was a Rock Falls Rocket coming out of high school. Sox have seen him a bunch the last couple years.
29th round draft pick originally, so he's really overachieved. I mean, that's down in the draft, and now he's a major league starting pitcher.
Missed inside for ball 1. Junis, who the last 3 years has made 77 starts for a rebuilding Royals team, and every year has allowed more hits than innings pitched. So he's around the plate. You can get base runners against him as Moncada swings through a breaking ball.
Every year in a Kansas City uniform, he's won 9 games. He's been remarkably consistent. Has not been a good Kansas City team, but he takes the ball, he eats up innings for you, and that's what they like about him.
Tipped foul, 1-2. Our Insure on the Spot starting lineup. Get your free auto insurance quote in just 2 minutes at insureonthespot.com. You saw Robert, Moncada, Abreu, Grandal, Encarnacion, Jimenez. Nicky's back in, so is Danny Mendick, and Nick Madrigal on the hunt for that first major league hit today.
Ricky hoping for more of the same as far as offense is concerned today.
Ripped foul first base side. A grand total yesterday of 21 hits for the Sox. Sox are going for that first sweep at Kauffman Stadium since September of 2015.
What'll be interesting today is how many times they test Salvi Perez at first base. He's an excellent catcher. We don't think he's going to have great mobility at first. He's not going to be as good as O'Hearn, but there he is. You want to keep his bat in the lineup, and they've got him at first base. Take the pressure off his legs.
Another foul ball. Our Four Seasons weather for the ball game looks like this: 78 degrees, wind southeast 9 miles an hour, and mostly cloudy at Kauffman Stadium.
How about here?
Hashtag is it raining?
It's pouring.
That's a live look at Guaranteed Rate Field, and it is a drenching rain. If you hear the rain in the background, just presume it's the fountains in Kansas City, as there's a ball inside on Yoan Moncada.
It is refreshing, though.
It is.
Not like the waterfalls, but it's refreshing here. Nice rain. You don't have to wash your car. I appreciate that.
All we're missing is Steve Rain right now. 3-2 is fouled away. So 3 balls, 2 strikes on Moncada, who was 3 for 5, and you heard Ozzie talking about it in the pregame show. These guys, Robert Moncada and Eloy Jimenez, all very good friends. A lot of joking around in the postgame press conference yesterday, especially between Eloy and Luis, as the 3-2 is off the plate outside, and that is ball 4. Nice take, good at bat by Yoan Moncada.
Let's take a look at the defense, brought to you by UI Health. It's Gordon, Phillips, and Cordero left to right in the outfield, with Franco, Mondesi, Merrifield, and Salvi Perez in the infield. Cam Gallagher's got the plate today in the all-COVID battery with Jacob Junis. Both are back off the list. They're both feeling pretty good, and Kansas City is very happy to have them.
Yeah, good to hear that they are both safe and healthy and ready to play and off the list, because there is a danger that comes along with it, and it's good to see that nobody here has experienced the same type of symptoms Freddie Freeman did, as there's a line drive back to the mound, and that's going to be a double play to end the first inning. So we are done with a half inning. No score in Kansas City. There and Salvi Perez. Franchy Cordero's first start of the series, and Franco and Gordon, Mondesi, Phillips, and Cam Gallagher, the catcher.
Dylan Cease is trying for that Lucas Giolito turnaround. It wasn't a good outing the first time. 7 hits and 2 1/3. He's got to throw strike 1. He's got to locate his fastball, and he's got to work down on occasion. If he can do that, he can come back, and that's what happened against the Indians. Not many of them were located well. He realizes what he has to do, and now it's going out there and getting it done. And it really starts with Merrifield. If you don't retire him at the top, it could be a fairly tough day for you, because he can steal a base. He can do a lot of things once he does get on.
Whit Merrifield against Dylan Cease in that powder blue Royals Sunday jersey. And Dylan's first pitch is a high fastball for a strike. You said you're going to watch Fastball Command today.
He got ahead. Probably doesn't want to stay there too often. Now with Merrifield, who had 3 hits last night, including a 2-run homer in the 6th inning.
Another elevated fastball, and popped up. Back of second to right center, Luis Robert for out number 1.
Let's take a look at the UI Health defensive setup, and this is how Ricky Renteria is going to put them out there this afternoon, with Eloy, Luis, and Nicky in the outfield left to right. Yoan, Danny, Nick, and Jose in the infield, with Yasmani Grandal. He's got the plate, and Dylan Cease on the hill.
Danny Mendick getting the start at shortstop today, with Tim Anderson on the injured list after the groin strain from the other day. So Danny starting at short, and Madrigal at second base, and a first pitch breaking ball is up high for ball 1. You've said it a number of times that a tough strike to get is that high curveball.
If you keep it up there, you're going to get hurt. Dylan knows that.
Right field, Nicky Delmonico is there to make the catch. And 2 down.
So one of the reasons why pitchers have problems specifically with the curveball in the first inning is that it's not a velocity pitch, it's a rotation pitch. And if you are psyched with adrenaline, you're not going to get the proper rotation, the spin rate you want for a curveball. Consequently, you'll leave a lot of them up. As you move along and you get that burn off of emotions and adrenaline, it's a little easier for the curveball to come to you.
When does that burn off normally happen?
Sometimes, depending on how many pitches you throw, but usually in the second inning. I mean, we talk about a pitcher not doing his warm-up where he's going to do his job, and sometimes it's adjusting to a mound that is a bit different than the one you warmed up on in the bullpen.
0-1 from Cease. Good sharp breaking ball downstairs, and Perez did not read it very well. 0-2.
A lot tighter spin, a little harder. In fact, 9 miles an hour harder than the last curveball he threw up in the zone. He started out throwing strikes, and for him, that's a really good thing.
One ball, 2 strikes from Dylan Cease. Georgia native. Has a 1-2, and that's way outside and low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Salvi's going to swing a bunch, but he's probably not going to swing at that.
No, but normally, with a couple of strikes, if it stays in the park, he's going to be swinging. He's a very difficult guy to walk.
Two and two coming. It's a high fastball. And skied foul right-hand side at the K. You heard Ozzie say in the pregame show, this ballpark has held up very well dating back to the 1970s.
It's in great shape, and they've made adjustments to it. They've changed it some, but the character of the ballpark is pretty much the same as it was back then.
There's a swing and a miss for strike 3, and that will do it. 1-2-3 inning for Dylan Cease. Each pitcher's faced the minimum. To the second we go. We are happy to have as Jacob Junis is on the mound. His first start of 2020 out of Rock Falls, Illinois. First pitch is a strike. Way out west there, northeast of Davenport, Iowa. Rock Falls.
He's got a lot of fans watching this game today.
They're all tweeting at you.
Yes.
Check swing on a ball in the dirt, and Grandal didn't go. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Although all the guys who are tweeting in are quick to say that he was one of their own, however, go Sox, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, you're kind of torn. I feel like that might have been how the Plesac family was the other day, right? The Plesacs were Sox fans growing up, and Zach goes 8 innings, strikes out 11, and the Sox end up winning.
Best of all worlds. Zach was really good.
Oh my gosh. 2-1, and Grandal hits it right to the second baseman Merrifield. 1 gone. Some news and notes from around Major League Baseball, and your headlines read that Joey Votto is on the injured list. No reason. Aaron Judge, 4th straight game with a home run last night against Boston, longest of his career. And Beckham Aaron Trout, initials BAT, born to the Trout family. Congratulations to Mike and family. The birth just a couple of days ago on July 30th.
There's a lot of people buying futures.
Oh, yeah.
On Beckham right now.
You have to.
I would think so.
Could you imagine if he just says, you know what, don't love baseball?
Could happen.
Yeah, very well could. And I'm sure Mike would be very supportive, very thoughtful guy, and one of the great faces of Major League Baseball, Mike Trout. Gordon Beckham believes that Beckham was named after him. Mike really looked up to me and wanted to model his game after me when I was traded to the Angels.
Oh, I think there's some validity to that. Not much, but there's some validity.
A modicum of validity. I'm glad Gordon jumped on that, though.
If only his mom could send us some cheese straws.
Is that true? That was something that happened?
Yes, quite a bit, as a matter of fact.
Cheese straws?
Yep. Very good.
To drink cheese through, or
Nope,
what?
no, they were just cheese straws. Never really quite understood how she did it, but she made them very well.
Yeah, but I can't picture what they are.
I'll try to draw
Okay.
a picture for you.
2-2 is a breaking ball inside. 3-2 on Edwin, and the Sox certainly hope that he turns up the power. You would imagine it's coming from Edwin, who's got a home run and was 1 for 5 yesterday. Edwin into left center field, and this gets down for a base hit. So a little end of the bat shot for Edwin Encarnacion is the first hit of the ball game. Hey, your 2020 Chicago White Sox are presented by Guaranteed Rate. Faster mortgages, your trusted teammate throughout the mortgage process. Experience the difference today at rate.com.
Sox have hit a couple of balls very hard in the early going. Abreu with a line out. Grandal hit it right on the button, but hit it right at Merrifield.
And now here's Eloy Jimenez with that 4-hit day yesterday. Flips it foul for strike one. I don't know I've ever seen Eloy Jimenez in a bad mood.
When we saw him when he first signed and he came in the booth, he was a very happy young man and very much assured of his ability. Remember, he told us that he aspired not necessarily to be a major league player. He aspired to be the best hitter in the game.
Well, he said at Sox Fest after that last year, 2019 Sox Fest, before last season, he said, I want to be the rookie of the year. And it wasn't even a guarantee at that time that he was going to be on the team to start the year. And you wonder, had he not gotten injured, if he wouldn't have been in the conversation for AL Rookie of the Year.
No, he's got really great offensive skills.
There's that perfect combination of exit velocity and launch angle called barrels, and the highest percentage of barrels per trip to the plate, #2 in baseball between Seager and Ohtani.
And are the Dodgers happy to have Corey Seager back and healthy? Same thing with the Angels with Ohtani. I still believe that Ohtani's future is as a hitter.
Not both.
I don't think his future is at both. I'm not sure if the elbow holds up throwing really hard curveballs and that splitter. The fastball used to be 100 miles an hour. This year the fastball velocity has been down.
3-2 up the middle, kick save, and a beauty to third. Franco got him. Oh, wow. Perez held the bag at first for out #2.
Well, the interesting thing is it hit off his shoe and then was caught.
Yeah,
It's going to be a double play.
Junis thinks it's a double play, that it did not hit the ground.
Right. If it hit off his shoe, it's absolutely a double play.
Now, did it hit the ground and his
No, it did not.
That should be a double play.
That is a double play before the throw.
And they're going to go to replay, and this presumably is going to turn up a double play. So let me redact part of that call. It's a kick save, but not a beauty. Sorry, Pat.
Ricky's coming out to get an explanation. Explanation is didn't hit the ground.
Thank you for the paraphrase. Now, it looks as though they're not even going to review it, and they're just going to say the umpires came together to call it a double play. New York's getting real fast. We don't even need those monitors anymore. Bottom 2, No scores. Sox and Royals. First pitch breaking ball for a strike from Dylan Cease as he threw a hook to the left-handed batting Franchy Cordero. And he couldn't stop his swing there at 97, 0-2.
He's not going to be able to get around on the ball right there. If you're looking for a hole in his swing, it's right in under his hands. And that was in the pregame. They talked about it. That's a spot to throw him if you can get it there.
Oh, 0-2. It's a high fastball again. Dylan has now thrown in that upper area of the strike zone. In the zone, he's thrown 4 separate pitches so far in his first 13.
Well, I think for the course of his career, he's going to be a high fastball pitcher. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
Well, as there's a ground ball to second base, I bring it up because if you look at his heat map from his first start, the fastballs were living up and out of the zone. So he's found the top of the strike zone in the first inning plus. As there you see the boot from Carlos Valderrama on the mound there. Junis.
Both innings have ended with line drive rockets and double plays. And for Edwin, he doesn't know. He can't see if it hit the ground or not, so he's got to take off. This is not a bad base running play. It's just one of those pieces of bad luck.
There's a high fastball, ball 1 to Maikel Franco. News just across the wire from the Sox that Sox have requested waivers on Kelvin Herrera for the purpose of granting his unconditional release. So Herrera looks like his tenure will be done with the Sox.
He just never regained the velocity. I mean, after the early season last year, where he had some back issues, the velocity went down and they gave him every opportunity, but didn't come back. He was signed to a 2-year deal, and they figure it's best to part ways now.
Foul ball at 99, 1-2 for Maikel Franco, who's just 1 for 8 in the series.
He's getting to the point where he's kind of on that high fastball. You either go higher than high, but I would prefer a slider or a breaking ball away. Let's see what Yasmani wants.
Downstairs off speed, strike 3 and 2 down.
Went away from the high fastball. Franco had some good swings. He took something off and threaded the needle. This is the changeup.
Yeah.
And it's a perfect pitch. Well, that goes real well with a high fastball.
So a right on right changeup does in Franco.
They haven't seen a whole lot of Dylan Cease, and so they're going to be mystified with a lot of his pitches.
Like that curveball in the inside corner. See, this looks more like the stuff we saw in that intra-squad game, don't you think?
This is the inter-squad Cease as opposed to Cleveland Cease.
That was off speed and up.
Plus, he's getting ahead. He's finding a way to throw strike 1 and get ahead of all these hitters. And he's been able to spot his pitches this afternoon.
High fastball 1-2. Now that high fastball looks better when you're ahead in the count, as he's the only pitcher in Sox history with 6 or more strikeouts in his first 2 major league games. How about that?
That's actually amazing. I mean, I wouldn't have thought that would be a statistic. I would think that there would have been more, but pretty amazing.
That's going to change in this era of baseball. You'd imagine somebody will join him. 2-2 pitch sent into right field and well hit deep to the wall and up and out of here. Alex Gordon goes deep and the Royals lead.
Looked to me like it could have been a high change. He had thrown a high change earlier. It's not where you want to throw a changeup. We'll watch it again. Ford home run replay. It is what appears to be a high change, and it appears to be 1-0 Royals.
1 in, 2 out. And a check swing on ball 1 to Mondesi, who's down at 7 in the lineup after a 2 for 4 yesterday. Yeah, the first high changeup he threw, I would have bet you he missed his spot on that one too. That wasn't the intent on the inside corner.
That one right off the leg, possibly the knee. And for a speed guy, that's not a good thing.
Trainer out to look at Mondesi. Watch it again.
I think it's off the left knee. It is above the left knee.
And then pinballing into his right foot.
I think the right foot's going to be fine.
I think so too.
Yeah, unless it takes his mind off the left knee.
I said, Doc, you're filling your old joke there, but
right.
Mondesi is going to try and walk it off. I mean, such a talented young man. Just 24 years old, Adalberto Mondesi. He's going to walk it off and stay in. Mondesi last year, his 10 triples led the league despite only playing 102 games. As the triple has gone by the wayside a little bit in Major League Baseball. One and two from Dylan Cease to Mondesi. And that will do it. So the Royals get the first run of the ball game, and the Sox will come up with Nicky Delmonico, Mendick, and Madrigal. 1990, Big Frank made his Major League debut 30 years ago today, and George Brett in 1973 was here at Comiskey making his Major League debut a long while ago. 47 years ago, George Brett's Major League debut was against the Sox at Comiskey.
I played as a member of the White Sox with his brother, Ken Brett. And the scouting report on both Brett brothers was George couldn't do anything as well as Ken. Ken had a better arm, hit better, ran better, did everything better, except didn't wind up in the Hall of Fame.
To second base and Merrifield for round number 1. While George Brett was playing in that first game, there was a concert being held at Kauffman Stadium. It was the first year of Kauffman Stadium, then Royal Stadium. It was a Three Dog Night playing while number 5 was getting his Major League debut. Three Dog Night was at Kauffman Stadium, the second ever concert at this ballpark. You know why they're called Three Dog Night?
Yes, because of the chilly nights where you had to have the dogs in and keep yourself warm.
Correct. You'd gauge the temperature based on how many dogs you'd have to have that night. So if it was a really cold night, it was a Three Dog Night.
See, that was just a wild guess. I didn't know that was actually the truth.
Yes, you did.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
You lied about knowing something? That's very backward. Jack McKeon was the skipper to put George Brett in that lineup, by the way.
Jack McKeon was around a long time. He had a lot of jobs. He was a very good baseball man and a funny guy.
Oh, Jack.
I like Jack.
Jack's hilarious. I mean, I got to know Jack a little bit when his son-in-law, Greg Booker, was a pitching coach in AAA Syracuse, and the Chiefs were really bad that year, like historically bad. And we were in Durham to play the Durham Bulls, and Jack lives in Elon, North Carolina. And it was like we'd go down the roster and ask Jack about each of the players. Ah, terrible. He's a donkey. Great, wonderful stories, Jack McKeon.
Well, he was terrific for a broadcaster because he would tell you what he really felt. Now, he'd also say, look, you can't say this, but this is what it is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't going on the air with that rundown of the AAA Chiefs. No. There's ball 4 upstairs, and Danny Mendick takes a 1-out walk.
Sox have been hitting Junis pretty hard. I would think second time through the order they're going to have even better swings than they had the first time. We talked about it early. He did give up 31 home runs last year. It'll be hard to keep this Sox team in the ballpark, especially with a 92-mile-an-hour fastball that has a tendency to get up in the zone.
Is this the at-bat where Nick Madrigal gets his first major league hit? 1 ball, no strikes. Couple of fly balls to end the game yesterday. 2 double play ground balls and a strikeout looking. I think Nick took one there that he wanted to swing at.
Fastball right down the middle at 90. When he starts hitting the baseball, when his confidence comes to him, he won't be taking that one again. Not too often anyway.
Throw to first, and Mendick is back. Danny Mendick not weighed down by his mustache. Another throw to first, and he's back in safely. So Nick Madrigal, you look at his college numbers. His second year at Oregon State, he hit .380. His final year, that College World Series winning year in 2018, he hit .367. On base percentages that year, .449 and .428, which are huge numbers. And he chops that off his body, 1-2. Line drive, right field, save that baseball. Nick Madrigal with his first career hit, and it's a single to right. The celebration is on.
Well, it took longer than he would want. It's a 9th at bat, and that's a sigh of relief. It's going to be a whole lot of hits for Nick, and eventually, it's going to surprise you. Eventually, he's going to hit the ball out of the ballpark. That's a slider. Didn't do much. Stayed over the middle of the plate. The lineup continues to hit the ball pretty well against Junis, and now second time through the order. Time to start scoring some runs.
You saw the reaction by Madrigal. I mean, it was basically like, yeah, it's a hit. It's like when somebody's at the top of their class and you say, congratulations on graduating middle school. And they're like, yeah, that's the whole point of this. But there's the baseball. They're going to keep it and maybe play tricks on him. There was evidently a baseball fiasco yesterday. Cody Hoyer, who got his first major league save, did not get the baseball from that save. Or at least that's what he thought before the game today when he was talking to reporters on Zoom. But the question is somebody in the dugout withholding that ball from Cody Hoyer?
Well, here's the thing. Because they're not marked pitch by pitch, they can pretty much give him any ball and say, this is the ball.
This is a Nerf ball, guys. It's 0-2. Robert swings through a fastball inside. 3 swings and 2 down in the inning.
Junis pitched him very well that time. He threw this fastball inside under the hands 2 pitches in a row, and Robert twice did not catch up to it. It was not velocity but location that fooled him.
Two down. Moncada high in the air to left field, and Alex Gordon. So the Sox had a chance here in the third inning and 2 left on. 1-0 Royals. Madrigal's got his first round pick from a couple. Hanging out with the family on Zoom a couple of days ago that they are thrilled for their son and brother and friend.
And we started at this ballpark that we're sitting in with a whole lot of rain, but the sun has come out. Sun has come out on Nick Madrigal, and the weight of the world is lifted off his very young shoulders.
Fly ball left field line from Brett Phillips is going to twist foul and strike 1. You would imagine Nick's the type of guy that after that first hit very quickly comes the second one.
Oh, he's going to hit. I mean, there's no doubt about that. And also he's going to play an exceptional defensive second base and eventually steal bases.
Change up just outside. This is the first time in a while I remember thinking it's a hitter's strike zone today so far.
So I think for Andy Fletcher, I think he's done a nice job early in this.
Oh yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
I think he's done a very good job, but generally I feel like we've seen wider strike zones than normal first week plus. Robert in center, 1 gone.
Tomorrow on NBC Sports Chicago, Patrick Kane and the Hawks return to the ice for Game 2 against the Oilers. Coverage begins at 9, or stream the game on the My Teams app. Be really nice to go up 2-0
on the homestanding Oilers.
Yeah, big game that first game.
First pitch, ball 1 on Cam Gallagher, who was out due to COVID-19. And remember, he was one of the big stories early in summer camp because he had played the night before and then tested positive the day later. And there was some concern that there may have been spread, but generally it was a contained pop-up of Gallagher having COVID-19. And good to see him back safe and healthy on the field. (3-0) on the 9-hitter.
Reds and Tigers are playing a doubleheader today. It's notable because it's a 7-inning doubleheader.
It's been going on in the minors for years and years and years.
I was going to say it's essentially a minor league doubleheader, but it's going to take a lot of pressure off the staff, especially when we get down to 28 and eventually 26 men on the roster.
In the air left field, and Eloy Jimenez gets there before Robert can. 2 out.
Nice battle back for Dylan Cease as he went down 3-0 and got the out.
Only run across so far is on a home run from Alex Gordon. And so now here is Whit Merrifield. Each second baseman in this game has won a College World Series. Madrigal at Oregon State, Whit Merrifield at South Carolina with Jackie Bradley Jr. Ray Tanner and that program did so well for so many years. He's now the AD down there. As there is Whitley David. Father Bill, a longtime sports business executive. Hey, a check swing, no go.
That's one of the few, especially when the hitter moves his hands. Whit did, but he did not go after it.
Cease and Whit. A few folks in the audience are grumbling to themselves, you two should listen to that. Cease the Whit. Two balls and a strike from Dylan to Merrifield. And now 2-2.
Took Merrifield quite a while to get to the major leagues by today's standards, but he established himself, got here, and keeps getting better.
Two and two from Dillon. Fastball down, fouled off. Hey, test your luck during every White Sox game this season with the 50-50 raffle. Sox Split presented by Wintrust. On sale now until the end of the 7th inning. Pot starts very low. You got to build it up during the course of the game. So get it up from $100 and continue to build it into the thousands as we've seen the last couple of days. Get your Split the Pot 50-50 tickets at whitesox.com/Sox Split. Valid for Illinois residents 18 and over. Merrifield to the bat rack on 2 and 2.
He's always been a guy that goes for more bat control, chokes up, and still able to hit the ball out of the ballpark.
Breaking ball struck him out. Just teetered on that outside corner and went away. 1-0 Sox trail. All over it. How about that? I mean, David was right there on it. Into left center field. Abreu on the first pitch sends it off the wall in left center field. It is a leadoff double for Jose. After smoking a ball in the first inning into a double play, here he's at second base in the 4th.
Not waiting around at all, and second time through he gets a good look at a first ball fastball and cranks it into the gap. So good way to start the 4th inning.
Leaves it for Yasmani Grandal as the Sox have Robert, Moncada, Abreu, and Grandal, top 4 in the order. All Cuban born, and we told you yesterday, first time in Major League history a team has 4 Cuban born players in the top 4 in the order.
Lesson for all you young players: what Abreu was doing at second base is checking his outfielders. You want to find out where they are each and every pitch to make sure you get at least one step that you wouldn't have gotten otherwise.
Yasmani Grandal, right center field, up the alleyway. Abreu around third, could backstroke home, and the Sox have tied the ball game just like that here in the 4th. Yasmani Grandal comes through.
RBI number 5. We said it a couple of days ago. Yasmani's starting to look really good. This is a breaking ball down, but he stayed right with it. You saw his head right down on the low pitch. He drove it into the gap. And just like that, tie ball game. Sox looking for more.
Edwin Encarnacion. Back-to-back hits. First pitch there, stroked up the middle into center field. Another base hit. So 4 pitches in the inning, 3 hits, and the Sox have a big inning brewing.
Boys saw what they saw the first time through and not waiting around the second time through.
That's the kind of adjustment you love to see. New hitting coach Frank Menechino clearly was talking to his hitters. They were talking to each other and have started to really attack Junis, who was throwing first pitch strikes quite a bit that first time through. 7 of the first 9 hitters saw first pitch strikes.
And it doesn't matter if it's a fastball or a breaking ball. If it's in the zone, it's hard, especially the second time through, to get it by these guys. So they've taken advantage of him, kind of ambushed him here, and 2 on and nobody out.
And Eloy Jimenez up, and his first time up, he lined a ball off the shoe of Junis that ricocheted to third base, and then Franco threw to first for a double play. And Ricky Renteria came out to argue, and the reason was the umpires had changed the call from the ball hitting the ground to the ball being caught in the air on the infield. And checking our reviewable play types, catch no catch on the infield is not a reviewable play call. So had the umpires not changed that, the Sox still would have been hitting in the inning.
Well, that happened with Chris Bryant on the triple play. It was not appealable. He happened to catch it. And this was the right call. Absolutely. I mean, the umpires got it right, which is what they're supposed to do.
Yes, sir. Eloy takes ball one. Will he see a second pitch fastball? No. Check swing. He went 1 ball, 1 strike. Back-to-back breakies.
Well, I think Cal Eldred went out there and had a talk with him and said, look, they are obviously jumping on your first pitch. Why don't you try one out of the zone? So he tried 2 pitches out of the zone, and it's 1-1 count.
One. Another one. 1-2.
Pen up and going, and patience is not a virtue with a 60-game season. So Tyler Zuber throwing into Penn. When we saw him in this series, he threw it pretty well.
It was Friday night. We saw Zuber in the 5th. Eloy on the ground. That's exactly what Junis wanted, but he beats it out at first base. Eloy digging down the line. Keeps it from a double play.
That was pretty impressive because it looked like a tailor-made too. But Eloy taking nothing for granted, wanting to keep the inning alive a whole lot longer and not ground into the double play. He beats the play rather easily at first. This is another slider. Lots of sliders. Keeps it down, and then Eloy realizes, you know, I got to beat it down the line. It was a good piece of hustle by him.
You know, Eloy Jimenez has been unsure of himself at points in left field, so you don't see his athleticism out in left. He's actually a pretty good base runner when you see him on the path. Check swing, no go. Ball 1 to Nicky Delmonico.
Nicky taking a long look down at Nick Capra at third base.
Second base, Merrifield and Mondesi, and on to first. They do get the double play. 2 pitches later. Sox get a run, but no more. We're tied at 1 after 3.5. Plus the sum of the digits in the year when Kauffman Stadium installed its grass field. That's a tough one today. Hashtag SoxMath. First correct answer gets to do the intro video tomorrow, as David Weinstein did today, and correctly called Nick Madrigal's first major league hit.
Pretty impressive.
Had some of that Stoney energy.
Boy, that was good.
Coming off. Dylan Cease, 3 innings, 1 hit. It was a home run. Your thoughts so far?
Like the way he's moving the ball around, and I like the fact that he's getting ahead of hitters almost exclusively in this performance.
Called a strike, 0-1. Jorge Soler and his 48 home runs last year. Behind only Pete Alonso and Eugenio Suarez for the Cincinnati Reds. Center field, Roberts got it perfectly, 1 gone.
Follow our Sox insider Adam Hogue at NBCSportsChicago.com, presented by Nationwide agent Jeff Vukovich. Get to enjoy knowing the Vuk as much as you do the jingle at JeffVuk.com, because
Nationwide is on your side.
Darth Vader promo.
That was if Nationwide did movie previews. 1 agent.
There he is.
1 Vuk. 1 down. First pitch, ball 1 to Salvador Perez here in the 4th.
So far, no adventures for Salvi Perez over at first base, moving out from behind the plate to keep his bat in the lineup and give Gallagher a chance to play.
Slider, strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike on Salvador Perez. Longtime Royals catcher now. He has been the man behind the plate for years and years and years for the Kansas City Royals. Since 2011, when he made his major league debut. 39 games and 76 the year after. And since then, every full season he's played, he's been an all-star.
That's pretty impressive. He came up with the reputation of being in command of the pitching staff, even from the lowest of the low minor leagues. And it's held him in good stead in the major leagues.
All-star selections in Royals history. George Brett obviously #1, but then Salvi's #2.
Very impressive, especially in the heat of Kansas City. Not an easy place to catch just about every day.
And he wasn't even here when the AstroTurf was there, but that made it much hotter on the field, right?
Much, yeah. Both St. Louis and Kansas City. Thing that amazed me, I mean, it is a natural surface, and it was in Texas, but Pudge Rodriguez, year after year, catching as many games as he did in the heat of Arlington, Texas. I mean, what an amazing accomplishment for Pudge Rodriguez.
Right field base hit for Salvador Perez. White Sox baseball is back, and so is the Chicago Sports Depot, the official team store. Open tomorrow through August 5th from noon to 4 p.m. at limited capacity. Get the newest Sox gear to rep all season long, and for more information, go to whitesox.com/depot or follow @White Sox Store on Instagram. One on, one out, and Cordero takes a heater for a strike, 0-1.
Cordero's got some big power.
First base, Abreu stops the bag, throws to second. That there is a double play.
You catch the ball, you yell tag him because you've gotten the force out. They do, it's out of the inning.
And we can hear it on our telecast. And he is, so whether it's cause and effect, we're not sure as yet, but Nicky Lopez has checked in, and he's going to play shortstop for this game for Kansas City with Mondesi out. And here is the Sox shortstop today with Tim Anderson out, Danny Mendick.
I'm pretty sure they want to take a look at that knee and at least get some ice on it, get him off his feet. So precautionary, Lopez in. You know, he's a local area product. I don't know if you knew that.
It's from Naperville. Yeah. Thank you for adding that.
Anderson Bookstore, very nice out there.
Really appreciate it.
If you get a chance, yeah.
You did one book signing at a bookstore, and they have gotten mentioned twice in a 3-game series.
Well,
it's truly remarkable. Here with prolific author Steve Stone, Jason Benetti along with you. Our entire crew.
It was great. I sold 4 books. It's terrific.
Hope you enjoyed your candy bar with the proceeds. 0-2 fouled off. Still no balls, 2 strikes. Junis so far 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. Sox have 5 hits and 1 run. We're tied at 1 here in the 5th. Like to wish a big 5th birthday to Liam Stern, a huge White Sox fan, watching in on the telecast, and congratulations on the big 5 to Liam. Franco at third, spins it across, out number 1.
Our advanced security is presented by Xfinity. It's always good to get a double play and out of the inning to tag it first, and the easy force out. Salvi pretty much knows he's probably not going to beat this throw, so he's hoping against hope that Abreu hits him in the back. Not hard, just to redirect. Jose is really good at throwing over the shoulder of these runners. He's always been great at making the 3-6-3 double play, and here's the 3-6 double play.
That was a great shot from our crew to see the vantage point of Danny Mendick, because it's not easy to follow that play as the shortstop either. Oh, 0-2 on Madrigal, so it's a quad bruise for Adalberto Mondesi. He is out, Lopez in. And Nick Madrigal with that very first major league hit. Grounds this up the middle. There is number 2 right on the back of hit number 1. It's a 1-out single.
But look, a lot of the folks that didn't think that Madrigal was going to hit, he's going to hit. He's not going to give you the thunder of Luis Robert. Very few people do. He's not going to be Eloy, but he's going to be very useful wherever he's hitting in the batting order. Mike Matheny coming out. That's going to be it for Junis. That's the one thing that's different this year. No patience on the part of the managers. So we'll step out and we'll be back.
By Google Cloud is the hits from last night for Luis Robert. The fastball in the zone, a curveball that was not, another curveball that absolutely was not, and then a slider bottom of the zone. So he's seeing breaking balls and he's still hitting them no matter where they are at this point. And so Luis Robert, who has a dazzling array of colors on his hit chart so far for the year, will face the new pitcher for Kansas City.
Lakeside Bank, call to the pen. And it's a right-hander we've seen in this series as Zuber comes on. He inherits Nick Madrigal. There is the call to the pen as if to affirm. And Tyler Zuber on for the 5th time, so he's been a busy man.
He'll throw to first as his first act. And Madrigal back safely. So Sox got a run in the 4th on 3 straight hits. And now have 1 on, 1 out in the 5th against Zuber, the native of Whitehall, Arkansas. Robert takes ball 1.
One of the adjustments pitchers are trying to make when they go with the fastball, they're keeping it inside. Something that Luis is going to have to adjust to. You got to believe he's going to adjust rather quickly, and they can't always get it where they want to throw it. There's danger inside if you miss.
And you definitely don't want to be down 2-0 against this guy. Turns 23 tomorrow, Luis Robert. 22 for one more day.
So he's getting up there.
Oh, yeah. He's going to be the graybeard real soon. 2-0. Outside of fastball. 3 balls, no strikes, and Moncada next.
It's going to be interesting to see if Ricky Renteria, in the infancy stages of the career of Luis Robert, is going to give him 3-0 green lights. We'll know soon.
Ball 4 outside, so Luis Robert takes a base on balls. Second one of his career, and the Sox have 2 on with 1 out.
Yohan Moncada saw Zuber the one time in Friday night's game. He was a strikeout victim swinging. He'll benefit from having seen him in the same series.
Yohan walked on a 3-2 pitch in the first, then swung at the first pitch he saw in his second at bat to fly out to left against Junis. He shows bunt and takes a hook for a strike. Think that's a clever ruse.
I think if he got a pitch that he liked, he probably was going to bunt it up the third base side and beat it out.
Inside almost hit him.
There you see the defense. They're playing him up the middle with Lopez. Franco is in close at third, but not at the cut of the grass. He is, however, away from the bag. I think that's probably the end of the bunt situations for Yohan,
who only saw 1 fastball in that at bat the other night. on that strikeout you were talking about. It was a high fastball well out of the zone, but everything else was either breaking balls and a changeup. We'll see how Zuber throws him as Madrigal's back at second. In the dirt, 2-1.
Nice stop by Gallagher. Zuber's having some problems locating the strike zone. 4 bad ones. This is a changeup down. Nice stop.
Two and one. That's down. Good call. 3 balls, 1 strike.
That was a good eye by Moncada, because that was very tempting. It was running away from him, and he was able to check it up and get one of the great hitters' counts at 3-1.
Now with Abreu as his protection, let's see if Zuber throws a fastball to Moncada. 3-1. It is a fastball at the bottom of the zone. 3-2.
That was a little bit further in than Yuan would have wanted.
One of those pivotal pitches in a baseball game right now. 3-2, 1 out. 2 on in the 5th. Zuber's payoff. Breaking ball, check swing, and Moncada didn't go. Nice take. And Yohan has 2 3-2 walks in this ball game. Bases loaded.
Boy, that shows the maturity of Yoan Moncada, who's still a very young hitter, but he's learned a lot. Those pitches were out of the zone, very tempting. Last year, certainly the year before, he's swinging at one of those, and he's probably out of this at bat. Instead, they're loaded up for a man who's hit the ball twice right on the screws, Jose Abreu.
You know, or he might have gotten himself out on the fastball on 3-1.
I mean, it's just, he's really maturing, and the middle of this order is really dangerous.
Breaking ball outside and low, ball 1. Madrigal, Robert, Moncada on the base path. Madrigal a hit, 2 walks after that. This is off the plate outside, 2-0, and on that Madrigal single, it was off the bat at 112.
How about that? I would say at that velocity, you can expect a hit, what, 7 out of 10 times? Something like a 700 batting average?
Yeah, just about that.
Yeah.
Yep. Two and 0. What you got, Zuber? Abreu waiting to find out. Another breaking ball. Oh, called a strike.
Yeah, that wasn't a good call. He stayed down there. He hadn't gotten this call. This is a slider that starts low, stays low, and actually goes lower. You see what Gallagher did. Gallagher grabbed it and pulled it up about 3 inches to make it look a whole lot better than it was.
Three straight sliders, 2 balls and a strike. Another one, and that was in the zone, popped up first base side. Perez going back on it, not a usual first baseman, and he won't get there.
No, this is an example of a catcher trying to make a really difficult play. Even for O'Hearn, that's a difficult play. For Salvi, it's an impossible play. Even if he does catch this, you can bet Nick Madrigal was tagging up at third base. And if he catches it with his back to the infield, I don't believe you can get him at the plate.
4 straight breaking balls. 2-2. Another one, and that was upstairs for strike 3.
Well, you saw exactly, classically illustrated, how one bad call in a sequence can completely change maybe the whole inning. Here's a hanging slider, but after seeing all the sliders down, Jose saw one up and swung through it. This is not where Zuber wanted to throw it. Turns out to be pretty effective.
So 2 down, bases loaded. And here is Yasmani Grandal. He's got a very good eye, power in the bat, more than 25 home runs, 100 walks last year, and he takes ball number 1.
That was a pretty good straight change with a whole lot of movement to it.
One-0. Breaking ball strike. Start to wonder if Zuber still has a fastball.
It's 95 when he throws it. He just doesn't want you to hit it.
Called a strike, 1-2. Well, it had been a hitter's strike zone for Andy Fletcher up until this half inning.
That fastball is further out. Good job by Gallagher of framing it, though. That was further out than the changeup that was called a ball.
One and two from Zuber. Almost caught him in the shoe. 2-2. Big opportunity for Ricky Renteria and the Sox. Bases loaded after stranding 15 last night. Still scored 11, of course, in an 11-5 win. 2-2. Down 3 balls, 2 strikes. So the game and the lead and the tie hinge here on a 3-2 pitch from young Tyler Zuber.
Grandal has got a wonderful eye. Very rarely out of the zone will he swing at it. You just don't like to leave it into the umpire's hands too often.
3-2 coming. Bases loaded, 2 out. Grandal fouls it away, and that's the perfect example right there.
Right, nice adjustment, because that was a backdoor slider. He's trying to shave off the outside corner. To Grandal, his eyes saw a ball, and then when he saw the spin, it was almost an emergency hack, fighting it off, keeping the at-bat alive.
Well, look, he's got Grand at the beginning of the name.
Other one have to be Granderson, wouldn't you think?
It would. It was also on the screen.
Oh, there you go.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Oh, wow. Ball 4, and he will absolutely take it. Sox have the lead from the edge of the cliff, 2-1. Whoa.
Okay, so that was a flip a coin at bat. And this is usually strike 3. Yasmani will certainly take it, so will the Sox. Second run batted in for Grandal. So that's 6 for the year, and the Sox have the lead. Zuber can't believe it.
Sad Cam.
That's the guy behind the plate.
I knew it was coming if I could have wagered money on it. First pitch breaking ball, tap foul. Cackle department on the other side of the booth. Edwin Encarnacion's first 2-hit game as a White Sox player. A third hit would bust it open. Presuming it's not an infield single with the bases loaded. Pretty safe guess. In the air, center field. Edwin's not happy. Phillips makes the catch. Inning over. Sox get a run and take the lead 2-1. And we begin with the one swing for Alex Gordon that gave the Royals the lead. It was the first hit against Dylan Cease and just one of 2 all day. A solo shot made it 1-0. Yasmani Grandal followed in the 4th on the 2nd straight hit against Jacob Junis, RBI single. Then Nick Madrigal with his very first major league hit. And then came his very 2nd major league hit directly up the middle. Madrigal celebrating. And then the Sox took the lead 2-1. Yasmani Grandal with a bases loaded walk, and Dylan Cease bankrolled to a 2-1 advantage, and a first pitch breaking ball to Maikel Franco, 1-0. Two balls, no strikes from Dylan Cease, who had a great finish to last year.
It was a pretty long inning he sat through in the top half of the 5th. Sometimes it takes a bit to get your control back.
There's a fastball up, sent into the alleyway, and rolling all the way to the warning track. Maikel Franco has a leadoff double.
After falling behind, he threw a letter high fastball. A double in the gap was forthcoming. Goes up and gets it and hits it hard. Pretty much of a new life for Franco, who had lost the third base job in Philadelphia. We had heard some rumors that they wouldn't be having him back, and he's found an everyday position with the Royals.
When we were in Philly last year, it was basically the end of the line at that point. He didn't have much more time. It's a no-go on the check swing. Didn't have much more time with the Phillies, and he's still got some life in him, just 27 years old. As here is 36-year-old Alex Gordon, first-round pick the year the Sox won the World Series, 2005. On the ground, first base, you heard the yell of cover. No need. Abreu taps the bag. And into the studio, Layla, Ozzie, what you got? Just clicking around Baseball Reference here to look at Ozzie's hitting. There's a fly ball into left field. Eloy Jimenez scrambles over and can't make the play. So the Royals have tied the ball game at 2 as Gordon grounded out and Lopez dumps one into left. So Franco got to third on the ground out and comes home easily on the RBI from Nicky Lopez to tie it at 2.
First at bat after Mondesi left. He hit himself in the knee. Lopez takes advantage of his first at bat by slicing this one into the gap. Drawn in infield. Good job by Franco. He was tagging up. He knows he's going to score anyway. Eloy can't get to it. And a short-lived lead.
Now Brett Phillips swings at a first pitch breaking ball and flies it to center. Roberts there, ready to unload to show the arm, and 2 down.
I love the technique of Robert because he was setting up knowing that Lopez has got good speed. He was setting up to make sure he was ready to throw as he was catching that one, and a nice job. Not going to be a whole lot of people running on him. He's got a very good arm. It's accurate, and he's got pretty good fundamental skills.
Two out, Cam Gallagher. Check swing and a strike. He is out of Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and Manheim Township High School.
My grandfather's name. Ed Manheim.
Township?
Ed Township Manheim. That was his middle name.
If I had the chance, I could have laid down some good money that you would have said something about, is that where they keep the steamroller?
Nope, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't go for the cheap joke unless I thought of it.
You'd go for the inexpensive joke.
Meanwhile, this is a big hitter.
Yeah.
The reason is you got to get Gallagher before Merrifield. Gallagher playing in his first game this year.
Yeah, Cam Gallagher for his career has only played in 81 major league games. Career high 45 last year. One and two from Dylan Cease. High fastball sent to first, and Abreu's on it for out number 3. So Gallagher's sledge-o-matic can't get by Abreu. We're tied at 2. Your Sunday plays of the week as the Sox and Royals are tied at 2 here into the 6th inning, and the Royals have a new pitcher facing Eloy Jimenez.
We've seen Scott Barlow, and lo and behold, we see him again on for the 6th time. So he's been a very busy man. Hasn't given up anything yet. He loves his slider. He throws it a lot.
First pitch slider there, and 0-1 to Jimenez. Strike 2 on the slider. 27-year-old former 6th round pick of the Dodgers out of Golden Valley High School in California, Scott Barlow, who like many pitchers has ditched the sinker this year. He was at 8% with the sinker last year. Didn't throw it a whole lot anyway, and hasn't thrown one so far this year.
You have a tendency to lean on your best pitch, especially when you're not seeing hitters that second or third time, and Barlow really doesn't see hitters more than once.
Struck him out. One gone. So we're tied at 2, 6th inning. We thank you for joining us. Steve Stone, Jason Benetti. Stoney, your thoughts on Dylan Cease so far today in this finale?
I think he looks pretty good. I mean, I think all in all, except for last inning when he had that long inning and came out without as good control, gave up the run. All in all, he's got to take this as a very positive performance. So I'm liking what he's doing. I'm sure he's liking what he's doing, as is Don Cooper and Ricky Renteria. So right now, what the Sox have to do is learn how to out-execute the opposition. We know they can hammer them. We know they can out-pitch them. Now we'll see in this close game if they can out-execute them.
Second base, Merrifield throws out Delmonico, and 2 out. Three ground balls to the right side for Nicky today, and here comes Danny Mendick. Salvador Perez playing first base. Trying to get baseball players not to spit is a losing battle, by the way.
Yeah, I don't think that one's going to hold. I mean, you certainly want to be safety first, but it's a long-held tradition in this game for whatever reason.
Yeah, it's advised not to do it,
Yep.
but systematically, it's clearly been difficult for players as there's strike 2 on Danny. Barlow normally goes to the breaking stuff to put batters away on 2 strikes. He did there, and Danny fouls it away first base side.
Nice job of staying alive. And we've got a great friend of the broadcast, Gabe Silva, who watches every day. Big Bears fan, big Sox fan. And any friend of his is a friend of ours. So we'd like to say hello to a big Sox fan, Hudson Hanna, looking on today. Hope everyone in both families are well.
Hi, Gabe, and families and friends. Wrapped to shortstop Nicky Lopez. And a 1-2-3 inning for Scott Barlow out of the Royals bullpen. Madrigal will have to wait to build on a 2-for-2, but we are tied at 2.
And Xfinity XFi gives you the Wi-Fi security with a warning track on a smarter, more secure home Wi-Fi network. If it's connected, it's protected.
Wi-Fi with a warning track.
Yeah, it has kind of a ring to it.
How about that? Dylan Cease to go through the lineup a 3rd time. It's Merrifield first. And strike 1. Longest outing of Dylan's career was 7 innings against the Mets on August 1st last year. That was a 4-0 loss. He went 7, gave up 4 earned runs, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. Trying to make it through 6 on 65 pitches so far today. And he got inside with a fastball on Merrifield. Good location, and Eloy makes the catch.
That was one of the better fastballs he's thrown today, because he took a very good hitter, especially a guy that can steal a base for you, and he jammed him. He jammed him with a fastball right in on his hands, and even the fact that he was choking up, he tried to bring his hands in, hit it off the end of the bat. Great location for Dylan. Nice to see in the 6th inning. After missing some spots last inning, at least for the first hitter, good comeback. Now you got to deal with a very powerful Soler in the 2 spot.
Well, a good way to get him off balance is to accidentally throw a curveball way over his head.
Well, if he's looking for a fastball first pitch, he didn't get it. And he hit the ball hard last time up. One thing, and for any of you young pitchers out there, the end result of the at-bat is not what's important to a pitcher. Look where the hitter hits the ball on the bat. If it's on the sweet spot, and it was for Soler last time, he beat you. You've got to make an adjustment, even if you got him out, which he did. So if you're observant on the mound, you can pretty much tell when you have to make an adjustment hitter to hitter. And you have to remember 9 hitters back, the fact that whatever pitch you threw, the hitter beat you, and you better do something else or he's going to beat you again.
Oh, he took a massive rip on 3-0 on a pitch on the outside corner.
Yeah, he's always going to be able to get the 3-0 green light from Matheny or Yost or whoever happens to be managing, because 48 home runs, you've earned the right to do that.
Yeah, Dick Hauser, Connie Mack, anybody,
matter.
He's swinging 3-0. 3-1 inside. That's ball 4. Still time to register for our first ever White Sox virtual run series presented by Guaranteed Rate. Sign up for a 5K, 10K, or 1-mile walk and get Sox swag, including a home run chain. All net proceeds from the virtual runs will benefit Chicago White Sox charities and the Guaranteed Rate Foundation. Register today at whitesox.com/SoxRun. One on, one out Salvador Perez.
Good double play man and out of the inning if you can get the ground ball.
Line drive right field, base hit.
It's the one problem with a guy that has a riding fastball instead of sinking fastball. Even when you keep it down, if there's no sink spin on it, you get line drives or fly balls. You don't get ground balls, and that's what Dylan is. I mean, that's what he's going to be. So 2 on, 1 out. Now meeting at the mound, talk about what they want to do.
A little surprised nobody's loosening yet in the Sox bullpen.
It's a pen that's been used quite a bit, and Dylan still apparently has enough left. He's got to get by a tough hitter here.
Cordero looks at what's called ball 1, and in part because Grandal just didn't catch it.
Well, that one looked like it had the whole plate.
You know how it goes, though. Umpires sometimes ball goes ringing off a glove.
I had a catcher who had a frog in his glove, and same thing happened. Hit the glove, bounced out. However, Yasmani was set up away, and he had to go inside for that, and that probably resulted in no strike call.
Left field side, Eloy has no play. So Franchy Cordero, who's grounded out twice against Cease. See his home run 2018 since the StatCast period on home run measurements, the longest Padres home run over the last 5 years. And they shipped him away for Tim Hill, the bullpen arm. Ball 1 strike. Grounded foul. 1-2. So 1-2 on Cordero. Franco next. And a major spot in this game. Wind cutting through Kauffman Stadium.
Looks like it is blowing straight out. Not a friendly pitcher's wind.
Long look at second. Throw there, not in time. He took a deep stare at Soler, who did get back in.
I love that. That'll shorten up the lead at second base. Maybe cost him a step. It's pretty close. If that throw is down, maybe they have a shot. Soler did a nice job of getting back in under the tag. But good coordination with Mendick and Cease.
One and two from Dylan. Breaking ball outside, 2-2. Salvador Perez at first on a single to right. Soler at second off a walk. Another foul ball.
77 pitches, and if he goes with the fastball, he wants to throw it right in on the hands of Cordero.
Two. He struck him out off speed, and 2 down in the 6th inning.
Big strikeout. He went to the straight change. We'll take another look. There you see the grip. Comes up with a little rotation away from the left-handers, even though he kept it up. It was very effective. That time it wasn't location as much as it was velocity that fooled him.
And here once again is Maikel Franco in the thick of all of it. Runners on, 2 out, another big spot. And he takes called strike 1.
He's shaking his head and says, nope, Andy, it wasn't a strike. And he said, well, if it wasn't a strike, I wouldn't have called it. But it's down. Franco likes fastballs up. We saw that last time up.
Part of the frustration with that strike call is simply that he just has not put the at-bats together he's wanted to in this series so far, for the most part, as he shoved off the plate with a fastball there, 1-1.
Usually when you leave 7 men on in a game, you have to be real disappointed with the end result of your clutch hitting, and that's what happened to him in the first game of the series. Hopefully he can leave a couple more on here. This is a huge out.
One and two.
That was a good slider. He's not going to hit that. Another one would be nice. Maybe a little bit further away. He's down 1-2 in the count.
What you got here? 1-2.
I go with a slider low and away. We'll see what Yasmani wants.
1-2 from Cease. Yeah, it was well off the plate.
What I like what he did there, and I'm talking about Grandal, he didn't set up early. You see the slider, but he set up late, and a lot of people don't know that hitters don't have to be looking back to figure out a tip-off. In their peripheral vision, they can actually see a catcher setting up outside. So they don't necessarily know what it's going to be, a fastball or slider, but if they know it's away, you can eliminate half the plate. That's why I don't like catchers to set up too early when they want to induce something away from a hitter.
Fastball up. Franco very frustrated again as Robert makes the catch, and the inning is over. Franco had choice words for his baseball bat, and the inning's over. 2-2 after 6.
Of Transportation, or to its friends, IDOT, safe drives of the game, and it comes off the bat of Nick Madrigal. Not only his first major league hit, but, yep, you guessed it, his second major league hit. And that one scored the second run. The game tied at 2. And how often do you see it? IDOT safe play leading off the inning.
How about it?
I mean, you can take it to the bank.
You can. Any number of banks who we appreciate their belief in our telecast. Ball 1 to Nick Madrigal. Robert Moncada to follow as the Sox go for their first sweep in this ballpark of 3 games since September of 2015. In that series finale, it was Sunday, September 6th, 2015. Eric Johnson got the win for the Sox. Mike Olt had 2 hits. There's a strike called, 1-2. Adam Eaton led off, had 3 hits, including a home run.
He was grinding that day.
The rare day. You're unreal. Ball and 2 strikes on Madrigal. Nick loads up and cues it first base side, rolling foul and swept up by Barlow.
Good choice by Barlow, because it's going to be a tough play as he goes to the line. You have to throw it around or through Madrigal, and Holland loosening up. He has been at times the closer of this team. They got Kennedy out there. He was a closer last year, so they have a lot of guys at the back end that can close. And Holland is really starting to enjoy the fact that out of Colorado he can actually throw that curveball again.
Does mess with you a little bit. We saw it from Mike Hampton.
Pretty tough up there. Yeah, Mike said that he signed up there because it was a good school system and then moved his kids out after that year.
Loop to right field by Madrigal, and a 3 for 3 for Nick Madrigal. So he was 0 for 8, now he's 3 for 11.
The ability to put the bat on the ball got the base hit because he stayed alive on a couple of pitches that would have wiped out other folks. This is a low slider. When you know you can make contact, a lot of times good things happen. He's protecting. He just puts the bat on the ball and drops it in front of Cordero. So a good way to start it off in a tie game late.
You talk about balancing a lineup. It's not just about right and left. There are some strikeout guys on this team who have massive power. Madrigal is a good complement in that 9 spot to the big power in the Sox offense.
Well, we talk about the number 1 hitter as a table setter. Nick's going to be a table setter from the 9 spot because he's going to get on base a lot. Luis is going to have to adjust to this slider. He's going to get it, and it's going to be away. Oh, that's a fastball away, it looked like.
0-1. Good spot. 0-2. Our swing box presented by Roman. Look at where Madrigal made contact on this ball.
He keeps his head down and just reaches out. He's in full protection mode.
Three-hit day for Nick Madrigal. 0-2. Roberts swings and slices it into left field and down for a base hit. On 2 strikes, Luis Robert pushes Madrigal to third, and the Sox rookies have a bubbling rally in the 7th.
That's a good piece of base running by Nick because he realized it was going to drop. You don't run on Gordon too much unless you get a very good break. Now this is a slider. This was the adjustment. It's a slider that he hasn't hit today. He hits that one, catches it off the end of the bat, dumps it into left field, and watch Madrigal. He knows it's a base hit when it leaves the bat, so he takes off. And runners at the corners. The go-ahead run at third base.
The book on this dude has always been baseball IQ. And Nick Madrigal ends up at third. Barlow booted from the game, and the Sox are trying to take the lead.
Comes into this with the game on the line. Now runners at first and third. That's what he's done this year. 1-for-1 in save opportunities. He won't get the save today. It's a long way to go for one. But Mike Matheny feels that this is his save opportunity. He's bringing his closer into a situation where if he gets out, it will be a job well done. It's usually a situation reserved for a closer.
Problem with this lineup is it's so deep that you think you've got your highest leverage situation of the game, and then another one might come up later. So we'll see what Moncada can do after 2 really strong plate appearances to walk on 3-2 pitches earlier today. He takes ball 1.
I would assume with the speed of Moncada and his ability to hit the ball as hard as he can hit it, they would probably go after the double play.
And concede the run?
And concede the run. Even though, I mean, they've got 9 outs to go. I think they want to stay out of the big inning that badly.
1-0. Up and out, 2 balls, no strikes. If there's no command, they may not have the choice to stay out of the big inning. Madrigal at third. Robert at first. 2 balls, no strikes. Yoan pops it up. Foul ground, third base side. Franco got out number 1. That was a hittable breaking ball, Steve, and Yoan just missed it.
Yeah, unfortunately, he was well ahead in the count. He saw the spin. He realized it was a hanger, but couldn't do anything with it. I mean, this one was spinning right there. That's usually a pitch that you just hammer. Yoan saw it, read the spin, realized it was a hanger, just couldn't get to it.
Two veterans next, Abreu and Grandal. First and third, 1 out, 7th inning. Sox are hoping for a sweep in Kansas City. Trying to get to over 500 for the first time this year. Abreu watched the whole way, strike 1.
It looked to me like he wanted to call timeout, or he might have, and it wasn't acknowledged because he kind of stepped back, was in no position to hit that, and took one down the middle.
Dylan Cease is through 6 today. 2 runs, 5 hits allowed. Aaron Bummer warming in the White Sox bullpen. Jose up the middle into center field, and the Sox take the lead. Madrigal scores. It is 3-2.
That's what this ball club's going to do all year. It's going to pick up each and every one of your teammates. Jose takes it right back up the middle. That's his 4th run driven in, his 2nd hit of the day. And now it's up to the pen to make it hold up, but the Sox aren't done this inning.
It's a great point you just made, because in previous years, if you get past one guy in the order, you feel like the rally might slowly die. It's the very opposite this year, with the feeling, I would hope sitting at home, that there's just another piece of thunder coming next. Grandal, a foul ball, strike 1.
And also bear in mind something with Madrigal. Hitting in the 9 spot, we talked about he can be a table setter there. Gotten 3 hits, but he scored the last 2 runs. He got on with 1 out in the 5th. He led off this inning and then scored the go-ahead run.
He's got so much more on the menu.
Well, it's nice to have guys who can consistently hit the ball out of the park. It's also nice to have a guy who makes contact.
Well, you'd like somebody to be on for the guys who hit the ball out of the park.
That's what Madrigal gives you. He gives you a contact hitter who's going to make every play defensively, and he's going to put the bat on the ball. He's going to put the ball in play, and when you do that, many times good things happen.
One strike from Holland on Grandal. 1 ball, 1 strike. Cam Gallagher is very demonstrative behind the plate, signaling to keep a ball down. You watch his glove all day long. He's very active as a receiver back there. One one. Good off-speed pitch downstairs. 1-2.
For Holland, it's almost like a slow pitch softball pitcher. He throws the ball and then moves to his left, seemingly to close up a hole in the infield. Of course, he leaves the middle of the diamond vacated, but that's always been his style.
Second time Kansas City Royal back to Kauffman Stadium. He misses inside. On a very tiny Western Carolina university, which nearly knocked Purdue out of the NCAA tournament back in the 90s as a 16 seed. It took everything the Boilermakers had to get past the old Catamounts. 2-2 up the middle. He couldn't close the gap enough. Grandal to center field. Here comes Robert to score, and it's 4-2 Sox.
Yasmani, for the 3rd straight at bat, has driven in a run. 2 hits, sandwiched in between a walk, and he just reaches down, stays right with it. 3 driven in for Grandal, and no chance to get Robert at the plate.
I like this offense, Tony.
I told you before the game that I judge offenses by how I would feel pitching to them. I wouldn't be comfortable pitching to this lineup. This lineup can jump up and bite you in any number of spots. And wait till it all comes together. It's not entirely healthy yet.
The real good news in this series, too, at least to this point, is the Sox won the opener with only 4 hits. The offense was quiet, and Dallas Keuchel was good enough. In 5 1/3, the bullpen was really strong to win the opener. Then 21 hits yesterday. Double figures in hits today with 10. 1-1. Sox are scheduled to be in Milwaukee tomorrow. Brett Anderson is the starting pitcher on the docket for the Brewers, but obviously with an entire series postponement against the Cardinals, their pitching is somewhat in a state of flux as he ripped the fastball by Edwin, 1-2. Royals bullpen again up and working. It's been Zuber, Barlow, and Holland already today. Edwin did go around, and he is not happy. Strike three.
Today's game is brought to you by Marquette Bank. For these 75 years, Marquette Bank has improved the lives of neighbors, families, and business owners. They're a modern neighborhood bank with online banking, mobile banking, and digital home financing. You get 40,000 plus free ATMs nationwide and are the only bank with fun rewards. Rediscover neighborhood banking at emarquettebank.com/75.
You get paid by the word?
Yeah, that's for 75 years, you know.
It is.
Yeah, they tie everything in at the end.
Bring it full circle. Eloy Jimenez checked it up. He didn't go. 1 ball, no strikes on Eloy, whose home run yesterday was quite the pinball machine. 3-run home run off of the glove of Bubba Starling and over the wall. (1-0) downstairs. 2-0. Yeah, Holland really clears the deck.
He falls off the mound by plenty. Now he's got to come to Eloy with, you would think, something hittable. Great count to hit, especially when missing with a couple of breaking balls the first two.
Throw to second. Won't even get a tag. Well, Dylan Cease, through 6 innings, has given up only 2 runs and has a 4-2 lead. There's Bummer getting loose in the Sox bullpen with Kurt Hassler, bullpen coach. 6 strong from Cease today.
Yeah, you would assume that would be it for Dylan Cease. He was very good today.
Yeah, 3-0 on Eloy, who you wouldn't imagine is going to see a whole bunch here.
Nope. If he does see a hittable pitch here, it's probably a mistake.
Leury Garcia away from the team today, by the way, due to a death in the family. So if you're looking at prospective pinch hitters, Leury Garcia is not available today. As Eloy takes ball 4, it goes to the backstop, and the bases are loaded on a 4-pitch walk. So that was a pretty clear pitch around of Eloy Jimenez. And it's going to be up to Nicky Delmonico. Bases loaded, 2 out in the 7th.
Well, Nicky has played Pepper with Merrifield at second base in 3 at-bats. Be a nice time to find a hole somewhere.
Bases loaded, 2 out. Sox trying to bust it open against Greg Holland. First pitch fastball, strike 1.
You'd have to figure for the defense late, we're going to see Engel in the ball game.
Nicky does have a couple of bases loaded walks to his credit. He's 0 for 4. Doesn't have a bases loaded hit, but he does have a few RBIs. As he checks it up on a high fastball, you figure, based on what we've seen so far, Holland's just going to challenge him. 2 fastballs to start the sequence.
Sox at every base, looking for a little more daylight between themselves and the Royals as we head into the late innings.
Nicky to right field. That's down for a base hit. 1 run is in. Here comes the second, and the Sox make it 6-2. Hey, Nicky, a 2-out hit, and the Sox by 4.
That is a huge hit for Nicky, and you got to believe that he also feels the weight of the world off his shoulders. And interestingly enough, after a couple of fastballs, Holland, for whatever reason, decides to go to the slider. Thank you. That was very nice.
I mean, we just talked about it, right? I mean,
yeah, I know.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's good, though. 4-run lead. We'll see in a bit.
Yeah, we will.
West Bank. And this inning, Sox are pouring it on. Jose Abreu goes back up the middle. That scored a big run. Grandal goes back up the middle. That scored a big run. And Nicky gets a slider he's been waiting for since 2010. And that scores 2 runs. Our Lakeside Bank call to the pen is Sparky. Glenn Sparkman. ERA of 7.36. He scattered 7 hits in 3 2/3.
You're saying Nicky was sitting in Tennessee somewhere 10
years
years ago?
I think he's been looking for that slider for a while, and he got a very hittable slider, and that's a huge hit.
You said at daylight, and this offense we know isn't going to stop, but 6-2 compared to 4-2, especially with the bullpen being taxed, it gives Ricky Renteria some more options that he can play with for those final 9 outs. Adam Engel pinch running at first. You talked about him likely coming in for defense, and he will with a 4-run lead. And Danny Mendick swats it foul, 0-2. There is Adam over at first. Oh, 0-2 from Sparkman. On the ground, back to the mound. Sparkman loads up a floater over first base. That was not a bullseye. Engel's coming around from first, and the Sox have 2 more.
Hi, baby.
A misfire from Sparkman.
So here's my pet peeve.
What you got?
You got the 3rd out of the inning in your hands, and then you decide to lollipop it to first instead of throwing it. I mean, pitchers throw the ball for a living. From 60 feet 6 inches, they can hit a gnat in the eye. And so instead of throwing it, you just float it. That one floated into right field. Sox pick up a couple more.
And here's Madrigal again. Swing and a miss for strike 1. Sparkman with the throw. Watch him after he throws it. What am I doing?
Yep. The lollipop went awry.
I mean, he looked at it like right after he released it. He was like, oh, Glenn, no. Strike 2 on Madrigal, who's hitting twice in the same inning for the first time in his career. He should get the lineup card for that.
I think he'll take the lineup card for the 3 hits.
Get all the baseballs, get the lineup card, get first base, he'd take that home too.
Right, and move into a new apartment so you have room.
On the ground up the middle from Madrigal, and it sneaks on through. 4 for 4, Nick Madrigal. Danny Mendick scores. Unstoppable 7th inning. It's 9-2. He went from 0 to 333 in an instant.
Break up Nick Madrigal. This one wasn't quite 112 miles an hour like his first, but pretty good. Takes it right back through the middle. Hit it in a good spot. And after looking bad on a couple of pitches early, this is what happens when you put the bat on the ball.
All right, so I said a couple of batters ago, I like this offense. I love this offense.
Yeah, it's very entertaining.
To first base from Robert, and there is out number 3. So the Sox send up 11 to the plate and bat around as we will stay and listen in to God Bless America.
It's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the ball game. Woo!
There you go, your 7th inning stretch and a 7-run stretch. For the Sox in the 7th inning, Aaron Bummer is on and he gets a ground ball. No surprise to anybody after 6 from Dylan Cease.
Aaron Bummer coming on for the 5th time. Believe me, it wasn't the plan for Ricky Renteria when he warmed up Bummer to bring him in. He had no idea it'd be a 7-run lead. But once you warm him up, you might as well put him in for an inning. He is a wonderful weapon out of the pen, on for the 5th time. ERA below 2.5. 8 strikeouts and 3 2/3, and that's pretty good.
First pitch is ball 1. Look, relievers love nothing more than when you get them up and loose, especially like twice in a game, and then you don't use them. They would never grumble about that.
No. But pitching coaches and bullpen coaches have to keep track of that.
Yeah, that's part of your
I mean, you have
usage.
to do it because it means sometimes if you get a guy up a couple of times, that next day you might not be able to use him, and everybody says, well, why wasn't he available? Is he hurt? No. He didn't pitch in a game, but he was up in the pen a couple times.
You sounded like a pitching coach answering questions, by the way you said no there. You got pitching coach defensive as you were acting out the scene.
Well, you have to act out the scene. Been a pretty entertaining series so far.
Oh, you think?
Yeah.
21 hits yesterday. Seven-run inning today as Bummer misses outside to Lopez, who's in for the injured Mondesi. Neither shortstop has made it through this game and series without an injury. Tim Anderson hurt the other day on Friday with a hip problem that turned into a groin strain.
I would think you should push back a bit, what with the electrical equipment and the flood in the booth.
There's a swing and a miss for strike 3 and 2 down. The incongruity of sunlight at Kauffman Stadium, but a drenching rain in our ballpark.
It's incongruous for sure. Tomorrow, get a fresh round of baseball as the Sox are on tap. You get it, Milwaukee? On tap to open up the series against the Brewers in Milwaukee. Boy, that's subtle. Coverage begins at 6:30 on NBC Sports Chicago Plus, or stream the game on the My Teams app.
Live look into our flooding rain at Guaranteed Rate Field.
Nice not to be playing here today.
No, yeah. We would have been playing Is It Raining?
We'd have been delayed 7 times.
There's strike 1 to Ryan McBroom. who hits for Brett Phillips. They don't want the lefty-lefty with Aaron Bummer.
I knew as the Sox took the lead, they'd be breaking out the McBroom.
Oh, now. You said you drove through Joplin, not did a set in Joplin on the way to Chicago from Arizona.
True. Entertainment capital of something. What?
A portion of Missouri.
That's it.
0-2 from Bummer, who has looked really good his last couple of outings. And there's that cutter. Oh, my goodness.
That's backdoor breaking ball. That's actually strike 3. But he'll have another. Good spot for it. You know, again, the difference is this. If he gets it on the inside part where Yasmani's set up, he probably gets the call. But when you have to go across the plate, more times than not, you don't get the call.
All this rain in Chicago is your fault, by the way, after tweeting at me last night that I looked like I dressed in a flood.
Well, something like that, yes. And actually, I thought you were pretty spiffy today, especially before the game to tie.
Blue shoes?
Suede?
Nope. Just regular. 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. He broke him down inside. McBroom is gone, and the Sox are 6 outs away from a sweep. Studio, but in Kansas City, it's sunny and lovely.
Sunshine and roses, 9-2. Our boys have out-hit Kansas City 12-5. And Dylan Cease did exactly what Lucas Giolito did. After a tough first outing, he came back and whipped up a gem. And we said, you know, going into the back end of the rotation, it would be very important with Gio Gonzalez and Dylan Cease and Carlos Rodon. The back end of the rotation is going to determine how this team does this year. As you figure, with Giolito and Keuchel, you're going to get pretty competent outings each and every time. But 60% of the time, you're going with 3, 4, 5 in the rotation, and the first 2 have come through really nicely.
Lopez got out number 1.
T-Mobile is your ticket to the game. Now through Monday, customers can score free MLB TV at T-Mobile.com/MLB. And remember, your time is running out.
Oh, no.
It is. It's
Join
Monday.
in right now. Hey, Nick Madrigal, by the way, with his 4-hit day. This from Chris Kampka in our TV truck. Madrigal is the 6th White Sox player to have a 4-hit game in his first 3 career Major League Baseball games. The last one was Daniel Palka in 2018, as Jose has to duck out of the way. The first one was April 27th, 1911, Ping Bodie. Francesco Stefano Bodie. Well, his last name was Pizzolo, but his name was anglicized to Frank Steven. And he was called Ping for the way the ball came off his bat.
It's pretty good. I love the nicknames back then.
What was your nickname?
Edge.
Yeah.
I have no idea why.
For those who haven't heard, why was your nickname Edge? You lovely, amiable person.
That was it. You know, and we did.
What'd you did?
Well, unfortunately, we did lose one of our own grumpier, older men. Wilford Brimley passed away at 85.
Yep.
In that club, the Grumpy Old Man Club, which I reside proudly.
Yeah, you're the secretary.
He was, yes, he was one of the mainstays. Had a great career, actually. I mean, played in some wonderful movies.
Tremendous actor.
Yep.
Let's get back to why you were called Adge.
Oh, I thought we were forgetting that.
Oh, no. We don't forget here.
Well, because I used to do wash all the time, and, you know, the agitator in the middle of your, whatever you call it.
Washing machine?
Yeah, that's it.
Booth? Possibly booth? Is this what you were going for? I think everyone gets to see why that might be the case.
Occasionally.
It's a good nickname for you. 1-2 on Jose. in the air right field, and 2 down. Sox fans, home field isn't the same without you, and we can't wait to welcome you back to Guaranteed Rate Field in 2021. Let's talk ticket plans, group outings, and more. Call or text Sox Tix to 312-674-1000 or go to whitesox.com today. On the subject of Ping Bodie, who had the first 4-hit game within his first 3 career games, according to the Society for American Baseball Research, which has a bio on Ping Bodie, he used to be Babe Ruth's roommate on the road. And according to this bio on the SABR website, somebody asked what it was like to room with Babe Ruth. And he said, quote, "It was like rooming with a suitcase."
Jimmy Reese said the same thing.
Is that right?
I think he was one of his last roommates and said the same thing. Didn't see the Babe too much.
How about that?
But it certainly didn't affect his hitting. By the way,
no.
Good tweet. Larry Yarnall says he's 9 miles west of the ballpark and there's no rain in sight. In fact, it's sunny there.
How about that? Well, that's why Is It Raining exists. Because in Chicago, you call up your relatives and you say, "Hey, is it raining by you?" And they say, No, it's not raining by me. And it's like 5 blocks away.
Sean Jankowski says it's not raining in Grimes, Iowa either.
Thank you, Sean.
Mercedes on deck if Grandal can keep the inning alive.
And what a story Yermin Mercedes is. So here's hoping he gets to make his major league debut, because this is a guy that has fought so hard to get here. And he had the biggest grin on his face coming to the Sox finally to make that debut. And whether it's in the 8th or 9th, you would imagine he's going to get those first swings.
You like to see guys who battle their way and start to think at various times, there's no chance I'll get an at-bat. I won't get a year. I won't get anything in the major leagues. And he's about ready. He's on the precipice, as it were.
He spent 3 years in the Dominican Summer League. Usually it's 1 year and out if you're a real top prospect. 2-2 launch to left center field and down. A base hit past Cordero all the way to the warning track. And Yasmani Grandal deposits his 3rd hit of the ball game. And so, Yermin Mercedes in his major league debut, 27 years old, and he said it took everything in his power not to cry when he walked into the clubhouse yesterday. He said, "I didn't want to. I was around my teammates. I know they've been there before." But for him, it was an extremely emotional day yesterday for Mercedes to be in that clubhouse finally, after bouncing from A-ball to the Dominican Summer League to a new organization, and now here with a bat in a major league uniform.
It's really nice to see him in both the spring and the summer training. I mean, he really hit the ball hard. He hit the ball everywhere.
I bet you he swings here, first pitch.
No way.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
It's a fastball neck high. Careful on that limb. Mercedes, we were talking to him before the game yesterday, and he said his best baseball moment up until this point was he led A-ball in batting average and got to go to Camden Yards. He was an Orioles prospect at the time. Got to go to Camden Yards, where he got that batting average title for the South Atlantic League, and to look around and see a major league stadium and know that that was what he was playing for. He remembers that day vividly. And now at Kauffman Stadium, just a couple years later, 4 seasons after, here he is making his debut.
This is great, something he will never forget. Doesn't matter how long he plays, he's never going to forget what you're looking at right now, this at bat.
Upstairs 3-0. He's like, "Come on, give me something." Never made it beyond the Dominican League with the Nationals, his first team. He went to independent ball for 2014. Orioles picked him up in 2015. And now with the Sox in the majors, he takes a strike, 3-1. Took him 5 years to get out of A-ball. Finally in Double-A for 12 games 2017. Back in A-ball with the Sox 2018 and advanced A with Winston-Salem. And now 3-1. Mercedes fouls it off 3-2.
We got the fastball. And after a sniff of the bat, he's looking for another fastball.
Three balls, two strikes. Mercedes on the ground, second base. Merrifield throws him out. But your mean Mercedes will remember that for a long time, and he'll go for the first hit next time. 9-2 Sox.
Well, if you do, NBC Sports Chicago wants you to honor heroes with an authentic fan surprise. Nominate them at NBCSportsChicago.com/hero. And we get a new pitcher in the ball game, Ross Detweiler. And if Jason mentions a consecutive batters retired, then it will be he who jinxes Ross.
You brought it up, and it's our job to tell you about milestones having to do with the Chicago White Sox. If we didn't tell you about streaks, you'd never know about them.
Well, I understand that, certainly.
Okay.
And I would never mention that you would mention that.
Yeah, but you're slagging me from 12 feet away in the booth, and I don't like it very much. There, it's on the screen. I didn't even say it. 15 is the number. First pitch.
Slagging, huh?
Yeah. It's uncouth what you're doing.
Slagging.
Yeah. I don't like it one bit.
Slagging.
One ball, no strikes. Going for the old radio drop in again. Pop up on the infield. That's 16 in a row for Detweiler. Into the studio, Layla and Ozzie. Layla, thank you very much. And there is that first base runner of the year against Ross Detweiler. It's a single to left for Whit Merrifield. You brought it up.
I won't even mention how you cursed him, jinxed him. Actually, you did figure, though, for Ross that he was eventually going to lose that streak. It ends at 16. Merrifield, who did not have a hit today, has one now.
Mejia's going to pinch run. That's the thing. He was going to give up a base runner at some point.
Yeah,
that was going to happen
somewhere. Short season though, so you never know.
Thank you for continuing to poison the waters that flow my direction at the booth. Strike one on Jorge Soler, who walked in the 6th. This was a very close game. It was 2-2 into the 7th inning, but the Sox detonated this puppy with a 7-run 7th. That's another piece of contact that sounded like a wood block in a music group.
He hit it hard, though. He's actually seeing the ball pretty well today. He's usually a pretty scary guy to face.
Oh, 2. Inside, a ball and 2 strikes. Sox and Brewers scheduled for 4 starting tomorrow at Miller Park. And then 2 at Miller Park and then 2 here in Chicago. It's a split 2-2. The 1-2. On the ground, should be 2. 6-4 to 3. And that will do it. Ross Detweiler still has faced the minimum. By Honda City, the Sox are in the lead, and Nick Madrigal has himself a 4-hit day, 4 for 4, his first 4 career hits. We told you the hits would keep on coming once they got one, and that indeed has happened. Yasmani Grandal, 3 for 4, 3 RBIs. Tony, you said it the other day, starting to see the ball better, and it's turned into a 3-hit day today. And you got to do the Kansas City shuffle for lucky number 11. It's a 9-2 lead for the Sox, a 7-run 7th inning.
And a huge hit for Nicky Delmonico. He was having a tough day. 3 right at Merrifield until he dumped this one into right field, and Gabe Spire comes into this game on for the 4th time with an inflated ERA, but it's early.
It's getting late early, Yogi. First pitch, a strike on Madrigal. We told you about the first Sox player to have 4 hits in his first 3 games. That was Ping Bodie. And I've spent the breaks reading a little bit more about Ping Bodie. Do you care to hear more about this very interesting cat?
I can't get enough of Ping Bodie.
April 3rd, 1919, according to Sabre once again, Ping Bodie went head-to-head in Jacksonville, Florida with Percy the Ostrich in a pasta-eating contest.
Whew. Wow. Joey Chestnut not around then?
No, Percy the Ostrich was the Joey Chestnut of the 10s. Ball and 2 strikes on Eloy Jimenez. The other thing is that Ping Bodie evidently was an electrician for 32 years on Hollywood movie lots.
That's what happened then. There wasn't all that much money in Major League Baseball in those days.
So you go and you run some wires for Gone with the Wind. Ground ball foul, third base side.
One of the surprise teams, and we said there'd be some surprise teams. The Baltimore Orioles have moved to 5-3. They're 3 games up in the loss column over the Rays. We've got a pretty good team.
How about that? They swept the Rays.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
It's the Orioles' first sweep since 2018. We're going to see some odd stuff this year.
Yep. Reds won the first game of that doubleheader against the Tigers. Tigers now move to 5-4. Sox are trying to get there.
Hey, baseball's back. The MLB app is the only place to get all your baseball action. In-game video highlights, live pitch-by-pitch, breaking news, player updates, stat leaderboards, standings, and much more. Download the MLB app today, the #1 app for live baseball. Good at bat from Eloy Jimenez. Couple of pretty decent pitches, spoiled foul.
That one he was trying to drive to straightaway center field. Had a good look at it, was not fooled by it, but he fouled it off.
Downstairs, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two. Good pitch. Strike 3 on the inside corner.
Hit movies, current shows, exclusive originals, timely updates. Watch for free. Upgrade for more. PeacockTV.com. Watching for free is a good thing.
Oh, yeah, it's your favorite.
Yep.
Little known fact, Peacock TV is actually a direct descendant of Percy the Ostrich.
And you can get it for free.
You're really stuck on that whole free 99 thing, aren't you?
I kind of like that.
It's inside for ball 1 to Adam Engel, who pinch ran for Nicky Delmonico. And Nicky really had the big hit in this game. It was 4-2,
Yep.
2-run hit, bases loaded, 2 out, and he broke it open in the 7th.
And you root for Nicky. I mean, it's been a tough year so far. He gets the start and comes through with a huge hit. Help the Sox open things up as they go for the first sweep in a long time in Kansas City. For a long time, this Kansas City team, when they weren't all that good a team, always tough on the Sox in Kansas City.
Well, in 2016, there was that disaster of a road trip where the Sox led late in every game and lost all of them. Engel skies at first base side, and Salvador Perez makes the catch. Two down for Danny Mendick. You figure this is Detweiler's game in the 9th. He's going to just try to eat up the remaining 3 outs.
Or if there's anybody you might want to get an inning for, that would be it. But I'm thinking that he's going to let Ross go out there and see if he can finish 2 innings. And for a guy who's been a starter primarily his entire career, 2 innings should not be a problem.
To left field, base hit. Danny Mendick has his first hit of the day. And let's tell you what's going on around the Central divisions in our Central focus. Sox are trying to climb in the AL Central. And your headlines, the Reds and Tigers play that 7-inning doubleheader. Max Kepler is 2 for 4 for Minnesota with a 3-1 lead in that game. And the Cardinals, according to reports, have multiple new positives. But the hope is that they can isolate those cases. They've done contact tracing on the Cardinals, and the hope is that they can contain that mini outbreak for St. Louis. There's a strike on the inside corner to Madrigal. Those cases came across the wire yesterday, and then new cases today as well.
Yeah, that's not a real good sign, but hopefully they can isolate him and contain him.
Madrigal to first base. Will he win the race? Out at first. Close play, nearly 5 for 5 for Nick. Instead, the inning comes to an end. Hey, there's Pink Bodie from the Library of Congress. Tell me what other electrician's there. The Sox with the lead, bottom of the 9th inning, and a 4-hit day for Nick Madrigal. Nearly was a 5-hit day.
Boy, he came an eyelash, and that was a great play by Salvi Perez because he's a catcher at first. He knew he had just enough time, and I mean, he didn't beat him by much. The 4 for 5 is pretty good. And how often do you see it?
What? A batter in the 9th inning?
Exactly right.
Okay.
Salvi leading off after a sparkling defensive play, out of position at first base.
He didn't expect that he'd have to hoof it like that.
No,
in this game.
He certainly didn't, but he made a good play.
That's one of those, he's yelling cover to the pitcher.
Somebody.
On the ground to shortstop, Danny Mendick, out number 1.
Let's take a look at our upcoming schedule presented by Volkswagen. It's a home and home with the Brewers, and then the Tribe. Second look at the Indians. We'll see if we can give them a little payback. That's a night game and 2 day games. And the Brewers, minus Lorenzo Cain, who opted out, if you haven't heard. Their fine center fielder, their Gold Glove center fielder, and one of the mainstays of that team will not be there. Still have a lot of thunder in that lineup with Braun and Yelich.
We saw him for the last exhibition, and they didn't put up big offensive numbers, but you would imagine they would. That's a dangerous bullpen as well. Yoenis Cespedes opted out today, according to reports. He didn't tell anybody and just didn't show up at the ballpark. Now he is officially opted out. Odd day. Odd days, really, in baseball. And the sincere hope is that we can safely continue on day after day in Major League Baseball, because this Sox team has been really fun to watch.
Well, look, there's a lot of people with a vested interest in keeping this thing alive as long as possible and as long as it can safely be kept alive. But one of the things that Sox fans have been waiting for is a really talented, entertaining baseball team, and they've got one now. So hopefully we can play out to 60 games, go into the postseason, play out the postseason, and then have a regular baseball season next year with a full spring training. And maybe that depends on a lot of things, but I know Sox fans, after watching what's happened after a tough start to this season, only see to come back on a precipice of a 4-game winning streak. They want to see this team play it out.
Three and one is swung through. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes from Detweiler. So Nick Madrigal today, a 4-hit day. Yesterday, Leury Garcia, Luis Robert, Eloy Jimenez with 4-hit days. So Madrigal, Robert, and Jimenez with their first 4-hit games on the same weekend in Kansas City.
Pretty good.
There's the yell of cover, and Jose is going to take it himself. 2 down. Your final thoughts on Dylan Cease today?
I really like the bounce back. It was frustrating for him that first game out. He couldn't locate anything, and just the opposite today. I mean, he threw 6, gave up a couple of runs on 5 hits with only 1 walk and 4 strikeouts. But more important than that, he was throwing strike 1. He was commanding the strike zone most of the time. And all in all, he's got to get a real good sense of what he can be if he stays that consistent. The stuff is there. You're throwing 98, 99 mile-an-hour fastballs with a good straight change and a biting breaking ball. You can win a lot of games.
Ground ball, second base. Madrigal finishes off the game, and he completes his best game as a major leaguer. 4 hits for Nick Madrigal, and a 9-2 Sox victory to sweep the Kansas City Royals. And that feels real good. 4 in a row, Stoney.
Couldn't be more entertaining in Kansas City, and so you have to be very happy as this team travels to Milwaukee to take on a better baseball team in the Brewers. Right now, all things going well for the Sox. The offense is there. It's exciting. They hit the ball out of the ballpark. But in a tough and tight one late, Sox proved that they could execute. They got a big hit from Nicky Delmonico. Everybody chipped in today. The guys that did it yesterday didn't do it today. Other guys did it today, and that is the mark of a team that's starting to come together and learn how to win as a team.
See you tomorrow.
I will be here. Get your rest.
I will. Night game tomorrow. We got time to rest. 9-2 your final score. So for our entire wonderful crew, everybody downstairs in the truck, Chris Withers, Dave Turner, Chris Kampka, Mark Harper, Greg Bowman, everybody in the booth, Joe Grube, he's Steve Stone, I'm Jason Benetti. Farewell. Sox sweep Kansas City at Kauffman Stadium in 3 for the first time in 5 years. Now Layla and Ozzie in the studio. Take it away.